Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that is truly on the cutting edge, and yeah, maybe a little bit unnerving: intelligent AI agents. We're not just talking about chatbots anymore. These are becoming systems that can actually act for us in the real world. But as you can imagine, with all that new power comes some serious new risks, and we're about to break down the security challenges hiding just beneath the surface. You know, it really wasn't that long ago that we were all blown away when an AI could write a little poem about a cat. It was cool for sure, but it was a contained creative task. Now we're right on the verge of asking an AI agent to go plan and book our entire vacation. I mean, flights, hotels, the whole shebang. This shows you the massive leap we've made from just generating text to actually executing complex tasks. And that leap? It changes absolutely everything when it comes to security.
So, where do you even start trying to secure something this complicated? Well, you do what any good engineer would do. You take it apart. We're going to deconstruct a modern AI system, break it down into its core components. Because once you understand the blueprint, you can start to see exactly where the cracks and vulnerabilities are hiding.
It turns out, you can map pretty much any AI system to 4 core areas, and this comes from a concept called the Secure AI Framework, or SAFe. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with data. That data is then processed and stored on some kind of infrastructure. Together, those two things train the model, the brains of the operation, which is finally delivered to you and me through an application. Think of this as our roadmap for today.
Okay, let's start at the very bottom of that stack with the foundation. Data and infrastructure really are the bedrock that every single AI is built on. And if that foundation has cracks, the whole thing is unstable before the AI even makes its first decision.
Now, this is where things get really interesting, because we're talking about a fundamental shift in how we build things. With traditional software, the code is king, right? You write some static code, give it an input, and you get a predictable result every time. But with AI, the data basically becomes the code. The system learns and changes based on the data you feed it. Its results aren't static, they're dynamic and adaptive.
And that leads us to this, which is just a crucial point. A model's weights, that's its internal memory of everything it's learned, come straight from the training data. The source material puts it perfectly. Attacking those weights is exactly the same as maliciously rewriting the source code of a normal program. So, if your data gets compromised, your AI is compromised, period.
Of course, all this data and the model itself have to live somewhere, on servers, in the cloud, and that means all the classic cybersecurity risks are still in play. But now there are new twists. Attackers aren't just trying to break into a server, they're trying to poison the training data, steal a multi-million-dollar model, or even tamper with its fundamental logic.
All right, let's move up the stack. We're now at the model and application layers. This is where all that complex AI logic gets packaged up and actually interacts with us in the real world. It's the part we see, and it's a whole new playground for attackers. You see, because we talk to these AIs in plain English, we've accidentally created a brand new kind of attack called prompt injection. This is where someone can hide malicious commands inside a normal-looking sentence. It tricks the AI into completely ignoring its safety rules and doing whatever the attacker wants. It's basically social engineering, but for robots.
And here's where that gets really scary. Today's AI agents aren't just talking anymore, they're doing. We can give them tools to browse the web, check your email, or connect to other software. So a successful prompt injection is no longer about just making the AI say something bad, it's about making it do something bad on your behalf. And that brings us to the real heart of the problem. None of these parts we've talked about exist in a bubble. A single weak link in one area doesn't just stay there. It can cascade through the whole system, setting off a chain reaction that multiplies the risk at every step.
So, let's build this out. Start with our baseline, just one single AI model, all by itself. Sure, it has some risks, like prompt injection, but the potential damage is pretty limited.
But now, let's give that model some tools, turning it into an agent. We connect it to a search engine or your calendar. Well, we've just massively expanded the attack surface, all the different doors and windows a hacker could try to open. A problem in the model could now jump over to those other systems it's connected to.
And what if one of those tools lets the agent pull in data from the outside world, like from a random website? If that website has been hacked and is full of malicious data, that poison can now flow right back into our agent, causing it to go haywire. Are you starting to see how these risks connect and just multiply?
This whole chain reaction has a name. It's called transitive risk. It's a simple idea, really. If System A trusts System B, but System B is compromised,
Well, now System A is also compromised. Trust is transitive, and so is risk. In these super-connected AI systems, this is probably the single biggest threat we have to worry about.
Okay, so we've taken the whole thing apart, we've mapped out all the scary ways it can break. Now what? Well, now we have to put it back together, but this time with security built in from the very beginning. And that is exactly what the Secure AI Framework, or SAFE, is designed to do.
Now, SAF is built on these 6 core pillars. But you gotta understand, this is way more than a checklist. It's a whole philosophy. It means you start with a strong security foundation, you specifically protect your data and your models, you lock down the final application, and, critically, you are constantly monitoring for new threats and improving your defenses. Because the attackers, they never stop.
And this is how it all fits together beautifully. Those 6 core ideas we just talked about, they get applied across all 4 of those areas we mapped out earlier: data, infrastructure, model, and application. What you get is this multi-layered defense that covers the whole system. There are no gaps for an attacker to slip through.
So, we have a map of the new dangers and a framework for building our defenses. But I want to leave you with this final, critical question. AI is moving at a dizzying speed. The agents we'll have tomorrow will be way more powerful, way more autonomous than what we have now. The real challenge is going to be making sure our ability to secure them evolves just as fast. So, will our defenses be able to keep pace? That's the question that's going to define this entire next era of technology.